Tattooed infamous Bikey, Kaos Pechey, appeared in Perth Magistrates Court last week where he admitted to revealing his 1%er neck tattoo in public at the Perth airport. He got fined for it under Western Australia's Unlawful Consorting and Prohibited Insignia Act. This isn't the first time Kaos has grabbed the spotlight. He seems to be in the news almost every year. Even though he just got fined, it's just another chapter in Pechey's wild story. With his rebellious spirit and bold tattoos, he's making sure everyone knows his name in the media scene, keeping the headlines buzzing. Pechey is an infamous ex-bikie who spent a year behind bars after threatening to kill police in a bizarre and menacing meth-fuelled rant. In 2020, former bandido Pechey was sentenced in Perth Magistrates Court over a two-day incident that began on June 24, where he was seen in a video next to a shotgun saying "Coppers die today." The saga began when Pechey imitated the cocking of a long-armed firearm towards two officers who were issuing him with a police order, following a domestic violence incident involving his ex-partner. Police later tracked down Pechey at a short-term rental in Belmont, East Perth, following house-to-house searches in the area, and drone surveillance. Heavily armed officers from the Tactical Response Group surrounded the property and officers used a loudspeaker to demand Pechey come out of the house. His lawyer told the court that Pechey suffered from schizophrenia and anxiety and that his meth binge was sparked by a relationship breakdown. He pleaded guilty to threatening to kill, possessing a firearm in circumstances of aggravation, possessing unlawfully obtained property and multiple police order breaches relating to domestic violence offenses and was sentenced to a year behind bars. In April 2018, Pechey found himself in a 3-hour standoff with 26 police officers following an argument with his girlfriend. Taking refuge in his girlfriend's Gold Coast home, he armed himself with swords and issued threats, stating he'd stab officers unless they shot him. Police attempted negotiations as Pechey stabbed walls and broke windows during the tense encounter. Only after he took prescription drugs, that led him semi-conscious, was Pechey detained by law enforcement. Subsequently, he appeared before the Southport Magistrates Court, with his defense lawyer attributing the dramatic incident to prolonged psychological stress. He was admitted to a mental facility as a result of the siege, faced 3 charges, among them were serious assault, willfully and unlawfully damaging property, and a charge of committing public nuisance. In 2013, Pechey gained notoriety as the most wanted man in Queensland, fleeing to Thailand in the aftermath of the infamous Broadbeach Bikey Brawl. The Broadbeach Bikey Brawl unfolded on September 27, 2013, as approximately 50 bandidos bikies initiated a confrontation while pursuing a rival gang member. The tumultuous event transpired at the Aura restaurant in Broadbeach, where the bikies, led by Jacques Timo, including Pechey, arrived in full colors on their bikes from their Mermaid Beach clubhouse. This restaurant, situated on Broadbeach's Surf Parade, a prominent dining and tourism magnet, became the epicenter of the incident. Timo, fueled by a long-standing and intense rivalry with Finks member Jason Truchette, sought a confrontation. The animosity had heightened, especially after Timo became romantically involved with Truchette's former girlfriend. The ensuing brawl created chaos in the vicinity, overwhelming law enforcement as the bikies clashed. The brawl spilled outside the restaurant, where diners fled in terror. The bikies threatened and yelled obscenities at police, and later laid siege to Southport Police Station. 18 men were sentenced for their roles in the brawl and the ringleaders received suspended jail terms. Following this brawl, Pechey fled to Thailand and spent more than a year living first in Bangkok and then in Phuket. However, he soon ran out of money, which prompted his return back to Australia. On his return, he was arrested at the airport and was charged with a slew of charges, including 10 counts of extortion, 2 counts of threatening violence, stalking, assault occasioning bodily harm in company, affray, enter dwelling with intent while armed in company, rioting, breach of bail, and 5 charges for traffic offenses. Pechey was also implicated in an extortion racket involving members of the West End and Centro chapters of the Bandidos, accused of extorting money and property from individuals at gyms in late 2012 and early 2013. He was granted bail after 9 months in jail. Later, and possibly during his time in prison, Pechey formed connections with the Sydney-based Brothers for Life gang. He embraced Islam and openly displayed his affiliation by wearing gang colors and acquiring a new tattoo on his leg. The Brothers for Life gang, established in May 2007, originated in the Lithgow jail cell of Bassam Hamzi, a convicted murderer. Bassam, who is serving 40 years imprisonment, is classified as an extreme high-risk inmate with restricted access and associations, reportedly operates the gang from prison. There are concerns about his involvement in a violent underworld conflict with the rival Alameddine family on the streets. Despite being incarcerated, Bassam continues to exert influence over relatives and associates in Sydney. He has formulated a constitution to govern their behavior and, following an extreme interpretation of Islam, has converted inmates to his beliefs. Bassam's ability to manipulate both inmates and gang associates outside of prison in the name of Islam raises concerns about the gang's activities. Despite assertions from his lawyer that Pechey had cut ties with bikies and gangs, law enforcement maintain that he continues to be an active member, citing ongoing intelligence and surveillance that suggest his involvement in gang-related activities. If you're looking for more exciting and eye-catching regular Bikey updates, don't hesitate, smash that subscribe button, share the word like wildfire, and hit that like button. And for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks to show some love. It goes a long way in keeping us motivated and the channel thriving. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome, and take care.